Okay, welcome everyone. We'll get started in just a minute. Natalia, do you want to go ahead and share your presentation? We wait. Go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. My name is Sarah Carr, and I'm Chief Knowledge Broker for OCTO, Open Communications for the Ocean. I'd like to welcome all of you here today. And I'd especially like to welcome today's presenter, Natalia Montero of AZTI. Natalia is filling in for Ibon Galparsoro, who had a family emergency and wasn't not able to be here today. And we really appreciate Natalia in doing this. She had yesterday to prepare and she's going to do a great job. And we we're going to be learning today about ecosystem-based marine spatial planning tool for assessing the alignment of planning processes with ecosystem-based management principles. Before we get started, I wanted to let you guys know how to ask questions. Now, you can put questions into the Q&A, and this is actually the easiest way for me to moderate the questions. And so but you can also put questions into the chat. You can, with the chat, we'll open it up so anyone can contribute. Now, what this means is that you can share relevant experiences or information with anyone. You can address any of the questions you see if you have additional input. So feel free to use the chat to keep it on topic and professional. And you can put questions in the chat, but it's a little easier to moderate them from the Q&A. But everyone can see them if you put them in the chat. Okay. Well, thank you, Natalia, for being with us here today. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to learning more about the tool.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you very much, Sarah, for inviting us to give this presentation. And yeah, I know that Ibon is very sorry that he couldn't attend, but yeah, I'll try to do my best to filling in for him. And if you have questions that maybe I'm not able of answering, I'm sure that Ibon, you can get him in that email, and he will be more than happy of coming back to you. So, ecosystem-based approach or ecosystem-based management, as you know, it's a strategy for integrated management that promotes the equitable, holistic conservation and sustainable use. Marine spatial plan, they should or they try to align with ecosystem-based approach principles, but there is not a standardized approach to do it or a standardized framework. So nowadays, ecosystem-based marine spatial plan is generally not fully implemented. So as you know, current practices in marine spatial plan vary greatly. And what we are trying to do with this tool and framework is to provide a standardized framework for managers and consultants that they can use to assess the alignment of their marine spatial plans with ecosystem-based management principles, and also to guide its operationalization. So I'm not going to go so much into detail, but this tool, it's a result of an iterative and collaborative process and involves the collaboration of experts from 10 European countries in the framework of the Marine Plan European project. So I will give you just a glimpse of what is the timeline of the development of the tool, from its conceptualization to its final publication as a decision support system. So we started with a review of the literature because we wanted to get the best of the optimal structure for the tool that enable us to apply it to the major part of marine spatial plans worldwide. So the selected documents that were reviewed And there we identified and extracted the ecosystem-based approach principles, also the different approaches used to integrate these ecosystem-based approach principles into marine spatial plans, and also ecosystem-based marine spatial planning frameworks that were available or were provided by international organizations and by the scientific community or supported by them. So we reviewed 8 different ecosystem-based marine spatial plan frameworks. And what we tried to check was what was the best structure that could be used for our framework and tool. And finally, we decided that the best one was to adopt this 5-stage framework that you can see here in the screen on your left. And it's a 5-stage framework that consists in defining phase, developing, assessing, implementing, and following up. Once we decided that this was the best structure for the framework, we also divided these stages in more operationable and specific substages that are the ones you can see here in black in this figure. Also in the literature, we were able of identifying 45 cornerstone ecosystem-based approach principles. And what we did is first, with these principles, we associate them with their corresponding marine spatial plan stages. And then we check what principles they only belong to one of these stages or they were transversal. So as you can see in this table, for example, on your right, there are some of these principles that they are only present in one of the stages, like, for example, like reference, having a reference baseline that it's only present in stage 2. But there are some of these principles, like, for example, stakeholder participation and engagement, that will have to be present in all the stages. So what we did is for each of these principles, we rephrase them in a stage-specific task or actions. So, for example, that principle, stakeholder participation and engagement, will be present in all the stages, but with stage-specific actions that differ among them. So here you can see what was the final structure of the, or what is the final structure of the framework and tool. And it's composed of 5 stages that you can see there on your left. Yeah. Stage 1 defining, developing, assessing, implementing, and following up. And there are 130 specific task actions that they were divided among these stages. 44 belonging to the defining stage, 37 to developing, 29 to assessing, 4 to implementing, and finally 16 actions corresponding to the following up stage. Also, because we were aware that there are worldwide wide variety of marine spatial plan processes, and also that all of them, they are not in the same level of development, we decided to classify these 130 tasks or actions also in the 10 ecosystem-based marine spatial planning cross-cutting topics. Like, for example, it can be legal framework, stakeholder engagement, ecosystem function, processes and functioning, and so on. So like that allows us to use the tool by those practitioners that they already have a marine spatial plan in place with their different stages, or also by those users that they are still developing their marine spatial plan, so they could use this tool for assessing and guiding this process and answering or seeing what are the steps that they should follow for each of these cross-cutting topics. For each of the 130 tasks, we ask users to answer to 6 fields of information that you can see there. One is the implementation degree of that task for the plan that they are evaluating, the relevance of each task action in the plan, also the information they use or the knowledge base they use to support that task, what is the self-assessment of their confidence when answering the questionnaire. And also, we provide some free test questions that are so they can justify their answers, and they can provide information about implemented approaches, methods, and tools, and also provide some justifications and additional comments. And from these six field of informations, we provided semi-quantitative scoring for the first 4 ones. And this allows us to compare or to be able to standardize the results. So we are able of comparing different plans. For example, this is very useful when we are in a transboundary setting, for example, but it can be also used to see how one action or task is evolving along the time when they are doing the adaptive management and maybe improving over the time. So once we conceive both the framework and the tool, we organize a virtual workshop with the stakeholders. And our idea was to present to them, first of all, the newly developed tool, to get feedback from there about the challenges that usually they are facing when they have to integrate the EBA principles into their marine spatial plans, and also to gather some recommendations of improvements for the tool in order to accommodate the requirements. So this workshop was organized ensuring both geographical and disciplinary diversity, and it was finally attended by 36 people from 10 countries that comprise high-level policymakers, practitioners, and managers working in conservation and also in marine spatial plan. And also everything or all the information we gathered from there was used for refining the tool. And also because we wanted to test the performance of the tool, in December of 2023, we tested it in 2 European countries, in Spain and France, that they share a transboundary area in the Bay of Biscay that you can see there in the map. And in this case, we carried out some interviews with the French and the Spanish practitioners that were involved both in the development, but also in the implementation of the plans. And as you can see here, the interviews, they lasted 5 hours. That it might seem that to be a lot, but of course that's synthesizing 10 years of work from the start of the planning process till the final legal approval. So at the end, of course, it's a bit time consuming until you get used to answer all the questionnaire and so on, but of course it's giving them a lot of information about all the process. And since then, we have also tested the performance in other 9 European countries in the framework of the Marine Plan project. So yeah, we also saw this opportunity of showing the tool here in the OCTO to get to know or to make more people know this tool, because for our intention is this to be a collaborative process, and also to gather the suggestions of people all around the world, so we can make the tool useful for everybody and not just for Europe, even if we have tried to make it that way. So not using like European legal binding information, and so more having like a worldwide approach. But anyway, we are welcoming all your comments and feedback. So this is how the tool looks nowadays. I will show you afterwards. We will dive directly in the tool, but just so you know, it's publicly available here at that webpage at astidata.es. And as I told you before, you can answer the questionnaire, or you can perform the assessment of your marine spatial plans by stages or by topics, but we will see afterwards. So once the assessment has been done, the users will get this kind of results. They can get the results all together in stacked columns, as you can see here. This is the graph for the stages. And you can see the different substages like yeah, in the radian. So these graphs are interactive and also downloadable, that we will see it afterwards. And what they get is the median for the responses they have given, for example, for all the statements of each substate. Also, users can get the results disaggregated as radar plots. As you see here the sample for stage 1 defining for all the statements that are part of that state. And these graphs are also interactive and downloadable. And also users will be able of downloading all the results provided as an Excel spreadsheet that you can see there in the slide. Also, as I told you, it is also possible to get the results instead of getting them in terms of the stages based on the ecosystem-based marine spatial plan cross-cutting topics. You can see here the 10 topics and the responses given there. I think this is an example for Spain. And you can see that here the results that are shown are the 4 semi-quantitative information fields. That is the respondent confidence that you can see in yellow, knowledge base in green, relevance of the statement in pink, and the implementation degree that you can see in blue, purple color. So our intention of this tool is that practitioners, consultants, or experts that they want to evaluate the plan, they get this kind of information so they can organize their adaptive management. So as you can see here, in blue, there have been represented the results for the implementation degree of different statements. The statements, you can see them on your x-axis. So in blue, you will find what is the degree of implementation of that statement in the plans that they are evaluating. And in orange, you will see what is the relevance that they think that statement has for their evaluated plan. So if we put like a threshold as a threshold of 3, that you can see that means partially addressed, so there is still some margin for improvement. We can get situations where you see that both the implementation degree and the relevance that the practitioner is giving to that statement are matched. So in that case, probably they shouldn't be focusing in that statement or in ameliorating that statement in the next cycle of the marine spatial plan. On the other hand, we will have situations like this one, for example, for environmental issues, where the implementation degree is 2, that means that is mentioned, but it has not been addressed. So maybe it's in the document, in the official document, but still they believe that it's a very relevant statement. And it's something that they should pursue in the next cycle, or they should, not just in the next cycle, but when they are doing the revisions of the plans. That's the same case, for example, for the restoration goals. We saw that, for example, in Europe, now that the new regulations for the restoration have been published, we see that they give like quite a lot of relevance to this statement, but that plans that they were already adopted, they have not included any actions to pursue that. That will be also the case. We see it in several marine spatial plans in Europe for the long-term strategy, for example. So here, what we want to see is that there is room for improvement. So what we are giving to users in the tool is examples of good practices and also links to approaches and methods that they can use to improve these statements, or that they could use in the future when they have to do the adaptive management of their plans. So just to conclude, I would like to say that the ecosystem-based marine spatial plan assessment tool enables to evaluate the coherence of national spatial plans with ecosystem-based approach. And also allows us to identify the gaps for future revision of the plans and adaptive management. And also our intention with this tool is not just practitioners or experts to identify where are the gaps, but also we are developing some best practice guidance so they can use to improve their plans in future revisions and yeah, to deliver a comprehensive ecosystem-based marine spatial plan. And now I would like to show you a tutorial. Well, we can go directly, we can dive in the tool if that works for you. I don't know, Sarah, if you prefer to organize the questions now or at the end.
Oh, we don't have any questions right now, so let's go on to the tutorial. And if people have questions, we do have a question, but yeah, let's go on to the tutorial and then we'll do the questions at the end. But everyone, feel free to send in your questions now. You can put them in the chat or the Q&A. Thank you.
That sounds good. Thank you very much, Sarah. Okay, so I will just move to the tool. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so this is what you will see once you go to AZTI data. As I said, this is a publicly available tool, so everybody can go there and use it. The first thing to do is to create an account. So you will just need to register and provide some data here. And once you have done it, users will be able of compiling the assessment. And every time that they are going out, they will be able of restoring their previous sessions and getting all the information. They can both do the assessment of one single plan or several plans at the same time, and it will work fine. So, yeah. Okay, so once you are already in, you just have to log in. And yeah, I will go with time. It's quite a straightforward tool, and we have tried to make it quite easy to use. So you just enter the tool, and here we have the screen. I mean, we have the home screen that I showed you before, where you can select if you want to perform the assessment by stage or topic. So let's do it, for example, by stages. Once you are in, first of all, you will have to provide some information about the context setting of your plan, of the plan that you would like to evaluate, like, for example, the study name, the country, the implementation date, if it has been already approved. And here you can also provide some justifications and information, because maybe, I don't know, maybe you are some different practitioners that they are working in the same planning site, for example, or in the same marine spatial plan. So all of you could work with the same passwords and get all the information that was already provided by the others. So once you have done that, you can answer, yeah, I will restore a previous session so you can see how it is seen once all the information is inside. If not, you will start just going for example, in this case, going to stage 1 and answering the different statements, the 130 statements. Here you see the 6 fields that need to be filled in. And here is telling you how many statements or tasks are within that stage in this case, and the total of them, that is 130. But I will restore a previous one so you can see how it will be seen by users when they have entered all their information. Okay, so this is how it will be seen by users Once they have used it, here are the fields to answer. And once they have answered to all these fields of information, they will get these dynamic graphs. It is possible to expand the graphs. We will do it now. And here, the graph can be rotated if you want to move it just because you want to visualize better some of your results. You can also activate or deactivate the responses, in this case, the fields of information. So let's see, as I showed you before in the graph, that you just want to show the implementation degree and what is the relevance of those statements in your planning site. You will just deactivate the other ones. You will get this information of these two information fields. And also, if you go over the line with the pointer, you will get both what is the statement, I mean, what is phrased in that statement, and also the response given by the user. Yeah. So here you can see, for example, for how the land sea interactions were taken into account, they say that yes, that it was completely addressed in the marine spatial plan. Once you have filled in all the statements and you have your responses, you can also download these graphs as an image file. You can see here. Okay, so then you can use it for your reports or whatever you need. Also, it is possible then to check your results in different ways. So you could go also here to results, and you could see, for example, all the plots you have generated in all your stages, like here. But this is separated by stage, as I told you before, so disaggregated, but you could also get all the results together, stacked together. And for that, you could go to check your summary plots here. And here you see, for example, for the different substages, you could see what are the responses given or the medians given for each of the stage for all the stages that are in that substage. These graphs are also dynamic, so you can also rotate them. Here you could also deactivate some of the information fields if you don't want to show them, or if you want just to show some of the results, and also can be downloaded as figure images. Also here there is an option of here you could get all the responses given as a spreadsheet table, as an Excel. So you could download it here, all your results as a table. And here there is also an option, for example, if you could check just the statements that are related, for example, with climate change. You could go here and you will have here ordered just those statements where climate change is mentioned. And finally, here you could also get a report. You can download a report with all the information provided. I will show you now, just so you see. And here you will have information about the information you gave while answering to the context setting screen here. So the project characteristics, all the information you provided, also all the graphs. Yeah, and finally, I just wanted to tell you what I said at the beginning, that our intention is this tool to be something that it grows and it changes and adapts to the needs of everybody. So if you So yes, so if you want to contact us and provide us suggestions for things that maybe we can include in the tool, or maybe if you see that your Marine Splash and plan is not represented with the statements that are in the tool, is something that we can evaluate, maybe in adding new statements or adapting them or rephrasing them in case something is not clear for all the users. So the idea is this to be something that is collaborative and adapts to the needs of everybody. So yeah, I will say that that's all from my side. So I guess if you have any questions,
Yes,
yeah,
Natalia, thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Let's see, we have a couple questions. And everyone feel free to send them in to the chat through the chat and the Q&A. Well, starting off, from Francisco Bravo. It says, "Hi, my name is Francisco Bravo from Adolfo Ibáñez University in Chile. This is a great tool, and I'm very interested in applying it in Chile, where marine spatial planning is advancing significantly. I'm not sure if this was mentioned, but could you explain how the tool handles multiple assessments of the same area by different evaluators? Does it report levels of agreement or disagreement among them?"
Uh, no, in reality, what we did, for example, is we have done these interviews, for example, with our practitioners in Spain and France, and then we checked the results to see if there was anything like it was not working correctly, and then we came back to them just to double check it. But there is not a way of comparing apart from the fact of maybe the tool being used by different people for assessing the same plan, and then comparing the final report they get to see if there are some inconsistencies or maybe if they need to find more information contacting somebody, but there is not a way of doing it inside of the tool apart from the fact of printing these final reports or graphs and checking if there are inconsistencies among them.
Okay, thank you.
Also, yeah, just one last second. I didn't say it, but for us, for example, when we contacted our practitioners, it was very useful. When we are answering these questionnaires, sometimes it's very useful to organize the statements by topics instead of that by stages, because maybe there are some people that they are very familiar with how it was done, all the stakeholder engagement part, and all other people they are more either familiar with the future scenarios thing. So for us, it was very useful to fill in the assessment that way, so people could check. Because the good thing is that because you can save your results, you can check if for some responses you don't have the answer. Maybe you can check out, yeah, I know that the person working, I don't know, with the cost-scheme functioning part is this person. So then you know the people you have to contact. At least this is a tip that works for us.
Okay, thank you. Um, Another question, what support do you have for other languages in the tool and with the materials, as well as any sort of guidance, like video guidance?
Yeah, we have a video guidance, also a tutorial. We have done it in English, and now our intention, we are trying to see how to do it because we also had the same issue in Europe. We are trying, what we are thinking in doing is maybe translating just the statements, but then in the tool having them only in English, but giving the chance, for example, to people to have the all the statements or all the structure of the tool, having it in other languages.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to thank Michael Elliott who posted the paper, and so the link is there in the chat if people want to open the paper where this work is drawn from. Okay, there's a
Yeah.
question.
Thank you, Mike.
Um, Thank you for the presentation, Natalia. Really interesting tool. You said on your conclusion slide that the tool gives an evaluation of overall coherence of ecosystem-based marine spatial planning in the context of management. Does it mean coherence within the National Marine Spatial Planning Framework or the evaluation of coherence of marine spatial planning with other or all marine management frameworks? Usually there are also other management frameworks alongside with marine spatial planning, like fisheries management, nature conservation planning, emission reduction schemes, etc.
Yeah, in reality, the objective of the tool is not so much to evaluate what is the outcome of the marine spatial plan, but to ensure that the plans are aligned with the ecosystem, with an optimal ecosystem-based approach. So there, in these statements, we try to integrate the different frameworks that are available, both considering the ones considering in a general way, not going so much into detail, but the ones like balancing the different parts of the sustainability. But it was not so much, there are not, for example, questions or statements that are made to ensure that you are complying with all the requirements of the different frameworks. More ensuring that all the statements are aligned with ecosystem-based approach in a general way.
Okay.
I don't
Thank
know
you.
if I answered.
Okay. Well, I think if you didn't, they can send in a follow-up question. Okay. Another question. Congratulations on this synthetic and integrative tool. The question is whether some of the topics can be turned on and off by stage, depending on the information available.
So by states, I
By
guess when they
stage,
are
yeah,
showing,
by part of the process. Yep.
the thing is like all those topics, like in a general marine spatial plan that it's already alive, I mean, already approved, all those topics will be reflected in some way in their plan. But then if you don't answer all the questions, you could get the results without the statements that you didn't answer. I mean, you could still get those graphs even if you didn't answer all the statements associated to all the topics. But we try to address all the topics that we consider or based in the literature and in the different frameworks should be addressed by marine spatial plans.
Okay, thank you. Another question, would you say that the tool is aimed more towards countries looking to implement marine spatial planning or countries that have already established marine plans or both?
Our intention was to adapt it to all cases. So that's why we decided to do it both ways, that people can answer to them by stages, because usually I guess is the easiest way for people that they already have an approved marine spatial plan, but also by topics, because some people maybe they are still developing some of these topics. Maybe they are just doing the scoping of the environmental results, for example, or maybe they didn't get yet to the future scenarios or to the last stages of the marine spatial plan. So that's why we did it both ways. So in one way, you will get what are the things that you should improve in the next revision of your plan. In the other one, you will have guidance to see what are the different actions that you should consider while developing your plan. So anyway, it will be useful in both cases, but the kind of information you will get, it will be a bit different.
Thank you, Natalia. Another question, somewhat related. Hi, I'm Erin from Delaware and interested in applying this to U.S. Marine, all right, MPSs. So, um, is this tool compatible with spatial planning in the United States? And is there a guide to help walk you through the site once you are using it?
The idea, I don't know if I understood everything. There is a guide of how to use the tool, and also like a tutorial, and also like some examples of how to fill in the assessment. And regarding the marine spatial, I mean the marine protected areas, it's also included, I mean, we have included some statements that are related with protected areas, but not only MPAs, also Natura 2000, EPSAs, and so on. So different protected figures. But still, I mean, if you are just interested in evaluating maybe the part of the marine protected areas, there are some topics that maybe are more aligned in that direction. So you could directly go to there and check, like filter the statements and see what are the statements that are aligned with that.
Hey, thank you, Natalia. And Michael Elliott has also posted another relevant link below in the chat. And for those of you who have asked about the recording, this webinar is being recorded, and the recording will be posted on the OCTO website under the webinars tab um, in later today. And I'll put the I'll put the link here for everyone where you can go look for it. We don't have any more questions at this time. If anyone has any, if you can send it in right now. Otherwise, we'll we'll let everyone carry on with their day. Well, I think we're good. Natalia, thank you so much for filling in at the last minute for Ibon. Great presentation and great job with the questions. If there's any additional questions, Ibon's email was put up there initially, and we really appreciate you guys working on this tool, and we appreciate you coming to present on it.
Yeah, thank you very much, everybody, for inviting us and also for the questions and the interest.
Thank you, and we'll see everyone at future webinars. Thank you again. Bye.